ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this wonderful program, this exceptional one, because we're receiving an exceptional guest. He's Dr. Peter Baofu. He's an American visionary and author of 141 new theories and visions in 175 scholarly books as of February 2022, and numerous articles provide a visionary challenge to conventional wisdom in all fields of knowledge, that is, the social sciences, the formal sciences, the natural sciences, and the humanities, with the aim for unified theories of everything together with numerous visions of future histories in relation to the mind, nature, society, and culture. His books are listed in top university libraries and national libraries around the world, including the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. He was interviewed on television and radio, as well as by newspapers around the world, about his original ideas and visions of the human future. You can check it on YouTube. And has global experiences around the world in all civilizations in 117 countries as of February 2022. And finally, Dr. Baofu earned an entry on the list of prominent and emerging writers in Contemporary Authors, that is in 2005, and another honorary entry in the Writers Directory, that is in 2007. He was a U.S. Fulbright scholar in the Far East. He had taught as a professor at different universities in Western Europe, the Caucasus and the Middle East, the Balkans, Central Asia, South Asia, North America, and Southeast Asia. He finished more than 5 academic degrees, including a PhD from the world-renowned Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, and was a summa cum laude graduate, as well as the recipient of the 1986 Delta Sigma Pay Scholarship Key for being at the top of the class in the College of Business Administration with another student. And we receive Dr. Peter Baofu. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
It's a pleasure having you on our show today.
Same.
All right, we go straight to our questions. So, what is the impact of the crisis between Russia and Ukraine on Africa?
Wow, that is a very interesting question. It's also a very timely question. There are several things which are very important over here. I do not side with either side. I do think that all three of them, the Western-led alliance, Ukraine and Russia, all of them are responsible for the outbreak of the war. It's not that one person is the good guy, the other person is the bad guy. I think all three of them have done something which are responsible for the outbreak of the war. For the Western alliance, for example, because of the extension of NATO all the way to the backyard of Russia, and that threatened the national security of Russia. For the first time, you have missiles, NATO, for example, NATO missiles, which can hit Russia in a few minutes, just near the border of Russia. Can you imagine that Mexico, Canada, Cuba, the Caribbean, Jamaica, and everyone become the Russian military alliance? That could threaten the national security of the US too, and this is exactly what NATO is doing to Russia. But on the other hand, Russia is also part of the problem too. They are also seeking for domination in that region. Ukraine is also making a huge mistake. Ukraine is trying to side with, trying to join NATO and the EU. I think that for a country like that, which is sandwiched between two major power blocks, they should be neutral. Mm-hmm. You should be nice to both, so that you can take advantage of the benefits from both. Instead of if you side one side against the other side will attack you. Mm-hmm. If you go to this side, the other side, then you will be dominated by the other side. So either way that they go, that's a very bad choice. But I think that it's much better off for them to be neutral. But now the war has broken out. What are the consequences, as you asked, especially in Africa?
Exactly, on its development, on its economy.
There are 2 or 3 things which I think are very important, and that has major, very serious international implications. Number 1 is about trade. Mm-hmm. The Western-led alliance is imposing massive sanctions on Russia in order to hurt Russia. it has consequences because now, if you do not trade with Russia or force other people not to trade with Russia, because the Western-led alliance is also pressuring the rest of the world not to trade with Russia. It's not like the Western powers do not want to trade with them. They also pressuring other countries. If you trade with them, we will put sanctions on you too. So they are trying to drag the rest of the world into a polarization of the international trading system. I think that is very negative in the longer term. Look at the prices. Natural resources, now the prices are going up. I mean that in terms of the economic impact, you have inflationary consequences. Next time when you go to a gas station and buy some gasoline, or you pay for natural gas and all that, you see that the prices will go up, especially in Europe, because they depend on Russia. And also in the US too, but much less in some other countries which depend on all those resources. You will see the prices are going to go up. Food prices. Some countries like Egypt and some of the African countries, they import, let's say, corn, wheat from Ukraine, from Russia and all that. They will also suffer too, because the prices are going to go up. And the international trading system now is broken down. Instead of trading with each other to benefit from trading, now the Western-led alliance is trying to encourage people to divide the world into two different camps. That is very bad internationally. That's number one. Number two, the financial system. The Western-led alliance is also trying to impose, to kick Russia out of the SWIFT system, the international payment system, and try to freeze or confiscate the currency, the reserve currency that Russia has in the foreign banks, let's say in the Western-led alliance countries. Now, that is also have a major international consequence because number one, it may hurt Russia, but in the end, it also hurt the Western world also, because now, if you do that, what is going to happen now? Look, Russia now is insisting that they do not want to import and export by using American dollars. They try to use rubles or some other currency. Russia, by the way, is negotiating with China. China, from now on, they trade with each other using yuan and also ruble too. Saudi Arabia and China are negotiating. Maybe they try to trade with each other in a different currency. Why? Because if you use American dollars, they can take your money. In case you do something which they do, is the way they will put sanctions on you too. So in fact, the U.S. has already made some remarks about that. Next time, if China threatens Taiwan or it decides to invade Taiwan, all those assets and currency that that China has in the U.S. can be frozen. And we're talking about a lot of money over here, and China now is thinking very hard. They have been doing that for quite some time already, but this crisis is really dragging other countries to choose.
Exactly, since Russia has huge implications on the trade of the world. My next question will be, what can Africa do in order to have its sovereignty on food sovereignty? Well,
I think that it is a hard choice. Number one, for those countries, the consequence is that it's time to look for alternative international currency for trading, because now it becomes more and more clear the US dollar is not reliable, because the US has weaponized American dollar. They use it as a weapon. So for many of those countries now, that has become a red flag. It's not because they don't know about it. People have known about this for quite some time. It's that the crisis has really polarized the world in such a way that the US now and the Western-led alliance is weaponizing everything, even sports. Even sports, now they do not allow the Russian athletes to go to Wimbledon for the championship unless they condemn the invasion. So now they weaponize everything. Now people are getting very nervous about it. So it's not safe anymore to use American dollars. It's not safe. So that's why I just mentioned to you all this kind of
So
alternative.
does it mean many African countries should have
Yeah.
their own currency?
Well, I think that's what they are going to do, and I do think that not only that, they are going to search for alternative international payment system. Russia is already doing that. China is already doing that, and I think that some of those countries, in your case, Africa, sooner or later you are going to do that too, because you will be next.
All right, Professor Peter Baofu, it was a
Yes.
pleasure having you, and we
Okay.
are glad you answered all our questions. We are very satisfied, and we hope and trust that you travel back safely.
Okay, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much.